Welcome to the Engineering Lab. Today, we are stepping right into the high-stakes reality of Cambridge Mathematics exam strategy, specifically focusing on Additional Mathematics 0606 and the calculator papers. We all know that exact feeling, don't we? You're sitting in the exam hall, the clock is ticking down relentlessly, and the pressure is completely on. It's an intense, high-stress environment where every single mark counts towards your final grade boundary. But today, we are going to break down a massive misconception that routinely costs students their top grades. We're going to replace it with a core concept that will absolutely change how you take tests. You need to build bulletproof arguments with stress-tested evidence and quality control. To understand this, I want you to picture a real Cambridge Mathematics past paper question, something like you'd see in code 0580 or 0606. Imagine two students taking this exact exam. Let's call them Alex and Sam. Alex is the kind of student who overloads every answer with raw mathematics facts, but completely lacks any actual analysis. Sam, on the other hand, just rushes through, totally misses the command word requirements, and punches things frantically into the calculator. Throughout this explainer, we're going to look at their flawed answers, complete with the dreaded red pen marks, and show you exactly how to fix them. Okay, let's dive into this. Take a look at this quote, right from a Cambridge senior examiner. The difference between a B and an A star in additional mathematics often comes down to how well you understand the phrase, correct answers without working are acceptable. Now, when our student Sam first reads that, it sounds like an open invitation to take a shortcut, right? Sam thinks, awesome, I can just punch the numbers into my machine, write down the final answer, and I'm good to go. But here's the harsh truth. Treating this syllabus rule like a shortcut is actually the absolute fastest way to sabotage your own grade. It's a trap. It gives you a false sense of security. You think you're saving time, but you're actually throwing away guaranteed points. We see this constantly in our analysis of past papers. Students who rely solely on the calculator end up losing out on the highest grades because they failed to communicate their underlying mathematical logic to the examiner. So here is our visual game plan for today's explainer. We are going to systematically cover the principles, the methodology, and some very specific examiner warnings. First, we'll dissect the calculator paper trap. Second, we'll look at the core mathematical principles that top students use. Third, we'll introduce the procedural framework, which is going to be your ultimate weapon. Fourth, we'll reveal the top 3 examiner warnings straight from the grading room. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with the method mark strategy. If you stick with me through all 5 of these steps, you'll know exactly how to turn those red pen mistakes into green check marks. Section 1. The calculator paper trap. Let's transition right into our first segment and confront the absolute most dangerous misconception in the entire 0606 syllabus. Let's visually anchor this core conflict. On one side, we have the myth, written right there in the syllabus. On calculator paper, correct answers without working are acceptable. It makes you think you can rely entirely on your calculator to do the heavy lifting. But look at the reality on the other side, straight from critical examiner alerts. Method marks can save you if the final answer is wrong. Let's go back to our student Sam. Sam rushes through a complex quadratic equation, skips the working out, and just relies on the final calculator output. But what if Sam's finger slips? What if he hits a 4 instead of a 5 on the keypad? The final answer is wrong, and because there is 0 working out shown, the examiner has no choice but to award a 0 for the entire question. Nothing. It is a total wipeout. But if Sam had shown his method, the examiner could see that the mathematical logic was actually sound, and he would only lose a single accuracy mark instead of dropping the whole question. Method marks are literally your safety net. Moving right along to Section 2, Core Mathematical Principles. We need to explore the theoretical foundations required for top marks and look at how the best students actually approach these papers. You see, Cambridge's assessment framework actually prioritizes analytical depth and cross-topic connections way over superficial breadth. The syllabus explicitly states that top-performing students exhibit connected conceptual understanding that is transferable to unfamiliar contexts. Our other student, Alex, completely misses this. Alex overloads answers with raw mathematical facts, writing down every formula he can remember, hoping something sticks. But there's no analysis. Principal examiner reports consistently highlight that candidates who reference cross-topic connections and logically structure their thoughts achieve significantly higher marks. The examiners aren't just looking for human calculators. They are testing your logical, structured reasoning and your ability to provide evidence-based analysis. You have to connect the dots. Section 3, the procedural framework. Now we're going to pivot to the technical methodology section and break down exactly how you should structure your exam answers to guarantee those marks. But before we continue, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ace the Exams, at @acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Click that subscribe button and hit the bell icon right now. Okay, let's get into the framework. All right, here is the exact 5-part procedural framework you need to master. Step 1, deconstruct the question. This is where command word decoding comes in. Are they asking you to evaluate, solve, or show that? Step 2, extract relevant data from texts and tables. Step 3, select your analytical framework. Top students often use a variation of the Peel framework here: point, evidence, explanation, link. You state your mathematical point, provide the formula as evidence, explain the substitution, and link it to the final format required. Step 4, execute with clear notation. And Step 5, present your findings with correct terminology. I want you to do a quick 30-second mental exercise right now. Imagine 2 answers side by side. One is a jumbled mess of numbers. The other follows this 5-step framework flawlessly. Which one do you think the examiner is going to award top marks to? This rigid structure perfectly mirrors the logical reasoning examiners demand. Now we are entering the transformation phase of our strategy. I want to pose this question directly to you, just like the senior examiners do when analyzing student performance across thousands of papers. Why do students find evaluating evidence and drawing conclusions so hard? Think about your own past paper practice for a second. When you are looking at a tough question from syllabus 4037 or 4040, where do you usually get stuck? Is it starting the calculation, or is it interpreting what the numbers actually mean at the end? The answer lies in the specific skills required. Evaluative thinking requires a lot more than just crunching numbers. It requires identifying limitations, questioning assumptions made, considering alternative interpretations, and justifying decisions with hard evidence. Let's look at a live transformation. Imagine Alex and Sam rewriting their previous flawed answers using our mathematics success blueprint. We set a 60-second visual timer. As they write, you literally see the red pen marks transforming into green check marks. Why? Because they aren't just writing facts or rushing to a final number anymore. They're taking a moment to justify their decisions with evidence. These are the specific critical analysis skills that separate the A-star students from the rest of the pack. You simply cannot demonstrate any of these high-level skills if your entire answer is just a single number scratched to the bottom of the page. Section 4, Top 3 Examiner Warnings. We are about to introduce the climax of our explainer by revealing the biggest pitfalls directly from the principal examiner reports. But wait, stop scrolling. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ace the Exams, at @acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. We've helped thousands of students improve by 2 to 3 grade boundaries. Join them right now by subscribing to @acetheexams_IGCSE and turn on all notifications so you never miss our weekly exam strategy sessions. Let's get into those warnings. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that we are going to treat these 3 warnings as an interactive workshop right here, right now. Warning number 1, confusing cause and effect. Think of this as challenge 1, the data scan. I want you to imagine a complex mathematics chart on screen with a 60-second timer counting down. Your job is to extract the core trend. If you mix up the variables, you've fallen for warning number 1. Warning number 2, forgetting to check format and presentation. This relates to challenge 3, speed writing. If you only have 30 seconds to write a perfect paragraph or sequence and you forget to use the correct units or significant figures, you lose the mark. And warning 3, answers are not specific to the context given. Let's call this challenge 2, find the flaw. If I show you a sample paragraph and the answer is mathematically correct but completely ignores the real-world context of the problem, the examiner's commentary will tear it apart. These are fatal, yet totally easily avoidable errors if you just pay attention. Section 5, the method mark strategy. Let's transition to the ultimate solution that serves as your complete mathematical safety net. Let's define this clearly so you remember exactly why it functions as your ultimate exam safeguard. The method mark strategy is the practice of securing points by strictly demonstrating the procedural process, ensuring marks are awarded even if calculation errors occur. This is where our complete mathematics answering system comes into full effect. Think of the 3 rules that guarantee top marks. Rule 1, command word decoding. Rule 2, Peel framework application. Rule 3, the time management matrix. By using these 3 rules to strictly demonstrate your process, you are building that bulletproof argument. You give the examiner the opportunity to reward your underlying mathematical logic rather than just grading a pass or fail on your final calculator output. And this brilliantly illustrates the ultimate insider secret to protecting your grade, straight from an examiner alert. Students lose marks by not showing working. Even if your final answer is wrong, method marks can save you. That phrase right there is your lifeline. Think back to Sam's rushing mistake. If you make a slip on the calculator, which happens to literally the best of us under extreme exam time pressure, the working you laid out physically saves your points. It acts as a structural insurance policy for your grade boundary. Let's contrast these two approaches one last time. Comparative analysis itself requires identifying similarities and differences. The superficial approach, just writing the calculator's final answer like Sam used to do, is incredibly high risk and honestly low reward. But analytical depth, showing the 5-step procedural framework, that is how you secure an A-star. Both methods might actually get the final answer right on a good day, but only the analytical approach guarantees you those crucial method points if something goes wrong along the way. I also want to reiterate that high-level execution isn't just about the math. It's about adhering to professional presentation conventions, proper headings, correct terminology, appropriate formats, and clear annotation. When you follow the blueprint, you transform a rushed, chaotic calculation into a pristine A-star quality response. It sends a massive signal to the examiner that you have absolute, structured mastery over the subject matter and that you respect the analytical process. So I will end with this provocative question to challenge your entire exam approach moving forward. Will you risk your entire grade on a single calculator punch? Or will you build a bulletproof argument with method marks? The choice is entirely up to you. Students who implement these mathematics strategies see an average improvement of 2 grade boundaries, but only if they practice consistently with our weekly videos. Here's your final reminder. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ace the Exams at acetheexams_IGCE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Subscribe right now to at acetheexams_IGCE and click that bell. Don't let another exam pass you by. Drop a comment below with your target grade for mathematics and the biggest challenge you're facing. Our team responds to every single comment. Like and share this video with a study partner. Ace the Exams, your Cambridge success starts here.